Hello lovelies, I'm back with a brand new movie review. So many of you messaged me and asked if I was going to be reviewing this movie, so here we are of course. Today I got to see Suicide Squad. Now this was one of the movies I was really looking forward to this year. The last couple days everyone's been going on about the bad reviews or all the drama with Rotten Tomatoes. I'll tell you, I never listen to the official reviews because most of the time I don't agree with them anyway, so I don't really see the point. Anyway, I have to say, I think Suicide Squad was fantastic and I loved it. Sorry if you hated it, I think the majority of this review is going to be pretty positive. So I feel like this movie was a really big deal for the movie DC world. We had Man of Steel that was like, okay. Then we had Batman vs. Superman, which left me disappointed in some parts, unless you watch the extended version where everything actually makes sense. But still, it didn't blow me away. I feel like DC really had a lot riding on this movie, and I think they hit it out of the park. So we pretty much start with Amanda Waller introducing the idea of creating a Suicide Squad, and from there we introduce our team. I really like how each character got their own introduction. As Amanda Waller is discussing them, we the viewers get a little introduction into the character, which I think is great. You're always going to have like two different types of viewers seeing a movie. The viewers that really know the comics and are familiar with the characters, or the viewers over here that really don't know the comics or the characters. So the introduction of each character was nice. I was kind of in the middle. Some of the characters I'm very familiar with, I know their backstories, I'm very familiar with those comic characters. Other characters, I knew their name, but not exactly their backstory, so me as a viewer, I enjoyed the character intros. So let's go down the squad. First, we'll start with Deadshot, played by Will Smith. Will Smith killed this. He was fantastic in this movie. Now, I'm a longtime Will Smith fan. I had Fresh Prince of Bel-Air on my TV almost every day. I think Will Smith is a fantastic actor, and this movie was no different. He was amazing. Deadshot had emotional parts, he had badass parts, he had funny parts. I think they did a great job with Deadshot's character, and Will Smith portrayed it perfectly. Some of my favorite Deadshot parts from the film, one was showing off his skills to Amanda Waller and not realizing that they had literally given him loaded guns. I also liked his list of demands before he would join the Suicide Squad. Of course, all of these demands having to do with his daughter. In Deadshot's intro, we also get to see some Batflick in there. Deadshot's biggest weakness is his daughter, and I think they portrayed that really well in the flashbacks and throughout the length of the movie. The movie did almost give me a heart attack, though, when he almost shot Harley Quinn on top of the roof. Oh dear God, don't kill her off yet! Moving on to Miss Harley Quinn. Margot Robbie, yes, I was pleased with this girl. Harley Quinn has been a longtime favorite character of mine ever since I watched the cartoon as a kid. I had a lot of expectations for this Harley, and I really enjoyed her performance. Harley is such a crazy but smart character. She's also a very sad character when you think about it, and I think they nailed each of those points to Harley's character really well. Harley was crazy and funny in the movie, and I enjoyed the little nods back to the original cartoon Harley, like saying puddin', showing her with the mallet, and they showed her in the gesture costume. I may have squealed like a little girl when they showed her in the red, black, and white gesture costume. Oh, this is like the Harley I remember from my childhood. I am so glad that they put that little Easter egg, you could call it, in for people that loved the old Harley Quinn and not just this new updated version. Of course, we get to see Harley Quinn flashbacks as well, and we really get to see her go from Dr. Quinzel to Harley Quinn. I do think it's safe to say that Dr. Quinzel may have had a screw loose before she met the Joker, because usually when a patient asks you to bring him a machine gun, you say no. But I really enjoyed seeing Harley being created and her interaction with the Joker. Don't worry, we'll get to him in a bit. We also get to see more Batman in Harley's intro, which is so needed. You can't introduce Harley Quinn or the Joker without Batman. So again, we get to see more Batfleck. I have so many favorite Harley moments from the movie, it's hard to narrow it down to just one. A scene that comes to mind was in the trailer when she's talking about the voices in her head. She's cute and crazy and psychotic in that scene, and it's perfect. I did notice too, she kind of went in and out of accent, which I guess makes sense. It was a little bit of the crazy person and then a little bit of the sane person slipping through. But there was definitely hints to Harley's accent from like the cartoon. So we might as well talk about the Joker now, since him and Harley go hand in hand. Jared Leto is great. The thing I really love about the Joker character is that every actor that's taken on the role puts their own spin on it. The Joker is such a big character in the DC world and in the Batman universe. It's always interesting to see how each actor will portray the Joker. And I think that Jared Leto did his own thing. I didn't really see Nicholson or Ledger, even Hamill in there. I think it was his new interpretation of the Joker, and I enjoyed it. He is, of course, batshit crazy, but that's fitting for the character. And I do like the new Joker look as well, with like the tattoos and whatnot. Now, something that was interesting to me in this movie was the relationship between Harley and Joker. To me, Harley and Joker's relationship has always been one-sided. Harley is desperately in love with him, and the Joker uses Harley and doesn't really care about her. It's very sad. I mean, let's be real, this couple should never really be relationship goals. But in this movie, I felt like it was slightly different. For a good part of the movie, Joker is searching for Harley. He's coming to find her and save her. So this was different for me. I don't think I have a problem with it, but it just felt different. Because the past Jokers that I'm familiar with, I feel like they wouldn't care that Harley was locked up. Because it was always Harley that loved him, not the other way around. But clearly in this, Joker does, at least somewhat. In one of the flashbacks, he does leave Harley in the car after it goes over into the bay and Batman has to save her. But in another flashback, when Harley jumps into the acid of sorts, I believe, he debates leaving, but then goes in after her. This just feels like a different relationship for them. Joker is still not boyfriend material, and Harley needs to work on her Stockholm Syndrome. But it will be interesting to see where they take their relationship in the future films, especially since he busted her out at the end. Next up, we have Boomerang. Now, this was my first main introduction to Boomerang, although I was reminded that the character was on Flash and Arrow on the CW, but I completely forgot about it. That's my bad. Alright, so he was super funny, and he was totally not a team player, which I think added to the humor. His backstory, we did get to see Ezra Miller's Flash, which was surprising to me. But I love all these little tie-ins to the different DC movies that they're doing now. I think they're headed in the right direction. I have two favorite Boomerang scenes. One is when he's hiding behind the car and pops open the beer to drink it. Another one is when they're in the bar and Rick Flag says that everyone can leave and he pretty much bolts out the door. Once again, very funny stuff. He was great with the humor for this movie. Next up, we have Diablo. He was so freaking cool. Or hot, I guess. Heartbreaking too. Now, this was a new character for me. I didn't know much about him, so once again, it was nice to have the backstory, the character intro, and learning more throughout the film. He was just really badass, and Jay Hernandez did a fantastic job. My favorite scene for Diablo is between him and Will Smith's character, Deadshot, where Deadshot is trying to tick him off, piss him off, anything he can do to get him in the game. Let's be honest, they needed some firepower, and that boy had it. Of course, the ending with him was good as well. It was sad because we had to lose him, but I think that's how he wanted to go. He didn't want to survive, and going out like that I think was good for him. Next up, we have Killer Croc. Was I the only one that was like super impressed with the prosthetics and the makeup on it? I thought it looked badass. By far my favorite scene with him was towards the end, where he's chilling in his cell with his big flat screen TV. It was too funny. I also love his interaction with Harley in the bar. And I enjoyed him swimming in the flooded subway. When they were getting ready to dive down into the water, I'm sitting there thinking, alright, we're taking Killer Croc, right? I mean, that's kind of his thing. Next up, we have June Moon and/or the Enchantress. Now, I had no idea that she was the bad guy in this movie, and I think they kind of advertised it that way, because unless I was like totally out of the loop, I had no idea that she was the main villain for this movie. I just thought she was part of the squad. So I know of Enchantress, but I don't know much about her backstory, so I wasn't entirely sure where they were taking it. Let me just say, if I accidentally fall into a cave and find myself in an old ancient witchy room with a bunch of witch artifacts, I am not going to touch any of them. I mean, she kind of brought this upon herself, but I did feel sorry for her. I was liking the Enchantress look, more of the early look, like before she got her heart back. After that, she looked a little too CGI to me, but that's just my opinion. The earlier look was dark and kind of transparent, and I thought that it looked really cool. But I'm also not familiar with what Enchantress is actually supposed to look like, but I thought that Kara looked amazing anyway. As I said, I'm not too familiar with the Enchantress, so I was trying to follow along with her and her brother's storyline. Maybe I would have liked a little more details on their powers. I understand that she's a witch, but I feel like their powers were a little extreme for the squad to be going up against. I wasn't a huge fan of how her brother looked either, just kind of issues with the CGI there. It was just kind of iffy for my taste. So on to the boyfriend, Rick Flag. I don't really have much to say about him. I mean, he was okay. Obviously, in this type of movie, I'm rooting more for, like, the squad than I am Rick Flag or Amanda Waller. I don't think he should be sleeping with ancient witches. I mean, that's not the brightest idea. But he was an okay character. I was just focused on all the other ones. With so many amazing characters in one movie, characters like his just kind of fall short for me. But you know what? He got his girlfriend back in the end, so happy ending for them. Next up, we have Katana. Now, I love Katana from the TV show Arrow, and I was excited to see her on the big screen, and to see how Karen Fukuhara interpreted the character. I do have to say, I have horrible fucking timing, and I got up to pee right at her introduction. God damn it, Cassie. I know. I might have to go back just so that I can see that part. Anyway, I am familiar with the character, so that's good. I enjoyed their take on Katana, and she's a badass. I love it. I enjoyed her interaction with Deadshot, saying she's not a thief. She was a great character to keep all the others in line, and I'd love to see her in future DC movies. The last character I'm going to talk about is Amanda Waller. Now, I think it's kind of a known fact that Amanda Waller is a bitch in everything. But damn, when she just shoots her entire team because they didn't have clearance for all the things that they had seen, oh my god, cold-hearted bitch. Viola Davis is amazing, so it's really hard for me to hate her, but god, I think she did a great job with the character. You know, good job, you played bitch well. I love at the end when she comes out and she's threatening to blow up people's heads again, and Deadshot is like, how are you still alive? I also love that their payment is only 10 years off of their sentence. Other bits that I'd like to mention with this movie, I really liked the character interaction between the squad and their relationships. I feel like they understood each other and had like a mutual understanding that I really enjoyed, especially with Deadshot and Harley. So a lot of this movie takes place in a city that is being destroyed. I swear every time I watch a superhero movie, all I can think about is the cleanup that is going to happen in all of these destroyed cities after all of these superhero battles. Moving on. In the center of the city is a round portal-looking light thingy. Round portal light thingy is a very technical term. Anyway, I feel like I've seen this before. It kind of reminded me of Ghostbusters or Avengers. It just would have been nice to see a fresh look. I did have to laugh when we killed the Joker. Bitch, please. We did not kill the Joker. He hasn't been in a Batman standalone movie. We did not kill him. Harley, he's fine. And bam, through the wall he goes, and he's alive and well. Speaking of deaths, that guy did not last long. I figured they would have to like blow somebody just because it's the Suicide Squad movie, but he did not last. What was his name? Slipknot. I had to Google it. He did not last long. I guess that's why he didn't get a character introduction. It was kind of funny though, like the look on Boomerang's face when he realizes that it's pretty much his fault that this guy just died, and he's just kind of like, oh yeah, that's my bad. Last thing we have is the mid-credit scenes featuring Bruce Wayne. I don't know why people get up when the credits start anymore. I mean, what movie doesn't have a mid-credit or after-credit scene these days? Anyway, a shit ton of people in my theater missed out on the Amanda Waller and Bruce Wayne scene. I love the setups and the tie-ins for the Justice League, and I'm all on board for future DC movies. Being a person that was really against Ben Affleck's casting as Batman, he totally grew on me. And he completely changed my mind, and I'm totally on board for Batfleck. So all the Batman and Bruce cameos that we had, totally digging it. Thank you, DC, for giving us a good one. So that's all, folks. I really enjoyed the movie, and as I said, I can't wait for the new DC movies to come out. If you liked this review, please remember to give me a nice thumbs up, and I'd love to hear what you guys thought of the movie. Leave me a comment. I love reading your thoughts and opinions. Thanks for watching, lovelies, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!